You missed it, Stacy, but the judge's power is out and she's operating on bad. Oh, there she is.
Oh,
in the dark
in the dark.
with a flashlight.
Crazy.
Well, this will be a new day.
I was working at home today because I've got a package coming, you know, and how that is.
Yeah.
Anytime between now and 9 o'clock tonight, that could happen. But it's something I have to sign for.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, you know, not having a clue what time I'm going to do it, I guess I better just be here. It's not like they give you a warning.
Judge, you didn't have to get me a present. That's okay.
How did you know? We're here today on a review hearing. We are conducting this through Zoom. We are live streaming, and Ms. Goodman is making our record. We'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trial for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Tiffany Brown is my pregnancy specialist. We are present ready on.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of Gabriella.
All right. So I've reviewed the report, and it doesn't seem like things have gone well recently. For little Gabby. Have we had any new updates medically? I mean, is this going to be our trajectory?
Medically, she's at her baseline. We don't expect her to improve, but she hasn't had any fevers or any respiratory issues since her last hospitalization. Her mom did go out and see her last month in November. I tried reaching out to her father to see if what he in fact wanted to do was relinquish, but he hasn't responded to me.
Ms. Brown, did she get the link for today's hearing?
Yes, and I asked her about the filing for the court-appointed attorney. She keeps telling me that she needs to fill it out. I offered to print it out and bring it to her and turn it in for her, and she said she'll do it, and she hasn't done it.
Okay. Mom, to work.
I just had someone log in under Deborah Tracy.
She is Freda's caseworker, Polydoc.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't mom logging in on somebody else's device. Okay. Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Trout.
No, you're good, Your Honor. I forgot what I asked.
The court-appointed attorney.
Oh, did mom is she gone back to work now?
She has. She's returned to work at Tyson.
Okay, and that was just here recently?
Yes.
Okay. What is she doing as far as childcare with all the other children?
For her other children, she said she was trying to get on CCMS, but they were backlogged on, they had a waiting list, and so she was just paying out of pocket for now.
Okay. And she has a new baby.
Yes.
So how many, I can't remember, how many children are in the home right now?
There's 5 children in the home.
5 in the home. Okay. And as far as I saw with the setting up the medical, what's the word I'm looking for? Medical training classes. Is that what we're still looking to set those up in January? Is that what she's?
We're going to have another staffing in January to see if she's in a position to do that. Previously, she had not been. It does require her and another person to attend up to a 2-week training. It could last longer depending on the progress that she makes in the training. She would have to prove to the medical doctors that she can be able to care for Gabriella. So it may, at the very least, it would take 2 weeks, but it could take longer.
Okay. And if I recall, she did not have a second person right now?
No.
She has no backup. What type of hours is she working at Tyson right now?
She works during the day. And so in order for her to take off for visits or anything, she would have to give at least a 2-week notice to them to let them know that she needs the time off.
Okay. And I believe it's all in the last, 6 months, she's been to visit 3 times, 4 times?
Twice. Once in the hospital and once in November.
Okay. Outside of the medical training and the visit, is there anything else we're needing mom to do right now?
When Gabriella was in the hospital, we discovered that there's two different types of DNRs, a hospital DNR and a home DNR. Mom was compliant with the agreed orders at the final, and she did sign a home DNR. She absolutely refused to sign the in-hospital DNR. And so at any time that Gabriella returns to the hospital, mom and dad would have to agree on the DNR, and mom is unwilling to work with dad in that aspect.
And then the DNR at the hospital, do those have to be, are those standing or do that have to be signed every time?
It has to be signed anytime. They can pick and choose what parts of the DNR that they want in effect and don't want in effect. Dad signed a conditional DNR. Mom refused to sign a DNR. So we're going to run into this issue every single time she runs and she goes to the emergency room or stays in the hospital.
Okay. And I think you mentioned, did you say that you have reached out to dad as far as whether he wants to relinquish?
Yes, when he was at the hospital in September, he just said, actually, when I talked to him and told him that Gabriella was in the hospital, he thought she had already passed away. And so his words to the LPS worker was that he had already made peace and that he would just let Courtney make the decisions moving forward.
Is he normally hard for you to get up with, or is?
Yes.
Okay.
Thankfully, he answered in September.
Okay. All right. So do you know when in January y'all are having another staffing on this?
No, we have to request it so that the people that are coordinating will be able to get all medical personnel that are available, attorneys and parents and everyone together.
Okay, so when you say staffing, you mean the
This is
actual
DFPS.
the actual training session thing to get all that stuff. Okay. All right. Okay. Do you know when you were requesting that? You're requesting that in January, and then y'all going to figure out a date?
I can request it today and so that they can start planning for it next month.
Okay. I think we need to go ahead and I would ask to go ahead and get that done, so that we know kind of where we stand.
Okay.
I appreciate it. I'll pass witness, Sharon.
I just ask a couple of questions, Ms. Brown. Is father willing to relinquish so that if, and I understand she isn't willing to sign the DNR at this point in time, but is he willing to relinquish so that he wouldn't have to be contacted every time and we don't have to try to run him to ground to find
He
him?
did talk to the LPS worker, but when I attempt to talk to him and reach out to him, he doesn't respond anymore. I can do a accurate search to see if we have new information on where he might be residing. But he did respond to a Facebook message and that we sent to him in September.
Well, I mean, it would save the additional burden of trying to find him each time.
Initially, Courtney was all for the DNR. She said that she didn't want her baby in any more pain, and that was what it was for. I think the issues between mom and dad kind of emotionally overtook the moment when they were both at the hospital. Because initially she was going to sign another DNR, and when she got to the hospital, she refused.
So, Ms. Brown, are you saying that you think because dad signed it, mom wouldn't?
She was very upset that he went for a visit and that we allowed him a visit. I tried to explain to her that they both have the same rights.
So what is the department's position on this? Because we've had this come up before. Let's just say both parents were terminated, whether it was by relinquishment or otherwise, but both parents were terminated. What's the department's position on
We are
the
currently going to be looking for her a legal risk placement for long term. We had previously put out a search for another PMN home in region. There are none. Medically, she's serviced better in the DFW Metroplex, but we do have PMN kids in region that still receive their services. We're working really hard to get Gabriella back home with Courtney, but with her not taking the trainings and not being available to have a second backup caregiver, our hands are tied and we have to find permanency for Gabriella. So our next route is the legal risk placement.
Okay, but my question is, if both parents' rights are terminated, what is the department's position on the DNR?
It would be in effect.
The department will execute that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We were under the understanding that we didn't know that there needed to be two different DNRs. But Gabriella's at her baseline. Her doctors all report to us that she won't get any better.
Right, she's in a vegetative state.
Mhm.
So just had this come up with another child where it seemed like there was going to be some issue of whether or not the department was going to sign a DNR. And some policy question about that. So that's why I'm asking.
And
In our policy, we're not allowed to sign DNR if parental rights are in effect. They still have their possessory rights. So we can ultimately the parents would have to sign the DNR.
I understand, but
Ms. Brown, are you saying that changes? I haven't looked at that policy, but you're saying if parents' rights are terminated and they're not anywhere involved, that changes what the department can do?
Yes.
Okay. And Judge, I'll follow up on that also. I've not gotten into that subject yet, but I will follow up on that. Not that I don't trust Ms. Brown, but I'll clarify exactly how that works.
well, it just seems I won't even say borderline. It seems inhumane what we're doing right now.
So that was the point.
I understand that, and I understand, Ms. Brown, that you have no control over that. But I mean, I know legally what the situation is. But perhaps if we could pin the father down, if his indication is he's made his peace with this and he's not going to be involved anymore, if he would execute a relinquishment so that we can get that taken care of, then maybe that will free mom's mind up to process this and, without whatever emotional upset that created her.
Yes.
I don't know that it'll change anything, but I also know it'll be one less person that has to be contacted in every single time this child goes to the hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is going to happen. I mean, it's inevitable. Okay.
So in January, Courtney was we created a new family plan for her to go to counseling to talk about end of life decisions and her processing that she still to today's day has not gone to counseling. When I reviewed her court order for January, it was not made an order. So I don't know if we want to order her back to counseling to process end of life decision making, or just to process where Gabriella is at.
Well, she's working at Tyson, 5 children in the home. Is she getting any kind of child support from anybody?
Not to my knowledge. She is still in a relationship with the younger 2 children's father. And it's my understanding that he also has just recently had another set of twins.
He did?
Yes, ma'am.
Has she given you any pay information from Tyson?
No, ma'am.
Do you know what she does out there?
She just works in the processing. But she did say she exhausted all of her leave with her last baby because she had to stay in the hospital longer than expected.
Is she on housing assistance, other, food stamps, other assistance?
She is getting all of those benefits.
Okay. All right. I'm going to deem her indigent and we're going to appoint an attorney to represent her. So Ms. Katie, if we'll get somebody appointed. And then at least if you all get together again in January, she's got the benefit of counsel and then, perhaps even that can lead to further discussion about what is the, I'm just looking at the reality of this situation. I find it very difficult to believe that even with 2 weeks of training, that with 5 other children in the home and she's dependent on other assistance to provide for the family. I don't see how this is ever going to work. I don't see how it can ever be in Gabriella's best interest to be placed back in that home. I just don't think mom can possibly do this with 5 other children in the home. I just don't see it. I don't see how that would possibly be in Gabriella's best interest. So I guess somebody can try to convince me, but I don't think it's a realistic goal. So I'll give you guys the opportunity to do all that, and we'll get her an attorney appointed and see where this thing goes. So I guess we'll limp along for another 6 months and give everybody time to do whatever they think they need to do. But
Judge, can we set a hearing in February, after they have that meeting to see where we stand, so we're not waiting 6 months?
I'm fine with that. Sure. Rachel, what are we going to put it on the 14th, or
We'll do the 13th.
in that when we set that final?
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
that's not an after final docket day. So let me look. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to set it the day we set that count and final.
No, we'll do the 8th.
February. Okay,
Ms.
Not-
Brown,
9 o'clock docket.
Yes.
All right,
Ms.
go
Brown, if you'll go ahead and get that meeting requested, so we can try to do that in January, so that by the February hearing, we can see where we stand. And let me know if that, that meeting doesn't get set before then, and we can try to make a change, but let's see what we can do in January.
Okay. I'll send
Thank
an
you.
email right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Zavala.
Your Honor, I really don't have anything to add at this point, and I think I share a lot of the concerns that you just raised. And she's getting great medical care where she is. It's just that from my understanding, cannot be a forever placement.
All right. Okay, I'll continue the department as permanent managing conservator, and I'll continue her current placement, and then I'll see everybody back February 8th of 2024. I sure would like to see if we couldn't pin the dad down, and it just simplify everything. It would simplify it for mother going forward. I mean, assuming if we even did place the child with mother, it would certainly simplify things for her. If he is truly done with this situation, and it kind of sounds like he is. So, okay. All right, I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Ms. Brown.
I'm sorry, that one just always puts me in a very poor frame of mind.
I understand.
Very upsetting. All right, Freda, can you unmute for me?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you.
It's been a while.
I know.
Yeah,
You're a busy woman.
I think so. I'm about to graduate in the fall. Well, it might lead into spring, but with my bachelor's degree.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to call your case. Known as Freda to all of us, and we are here today on a review hearing. We are conducting Zoom, and we are live streaming, and Ms. Goodman's making our record this morning, so we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Tribe for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Deborah Tracy is my worker today. We are present radio.
Stacy Zavala here for Freda, here and ready.
All right, what do we have new other than just good news after good news after good news?
I'm a citizen now.
You are.
Yes.
When did that happen?
In July or June, around my birthday, and I took the test and everything. They took my green card, and yeah, I took the oath. I did the oath ceremony and everything too.
Was that pretty cool?
Yes, it was really cool, and
Well,
there was a lot of people in there too.
well, I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. That's great news.
And I work as a CNA in the Texas Medical Center.
Do you like that?
Yes, it's really cool, but I'm always thinking about what's next. So even though I have a good job, I'm always trying to like move to the next thing because I don't want to be a CNA. I want to be a surgeon. So yeah.
Okay. Well, you are proof that all you got to do is put your mind to it, and it'll happen.
Yes. I remember. Do y'all remember ever I was like hard headed? I was not listening.
Oh, I don't know, Freda. I'm not sure I ever remember you being hard.
I remember that a little bit.
I have a question though.
Yes, ma'am.
I know that before I left my second to last foster home, we did discuss like something about my mom and my siblings, and I know it's just been like in the air, but is that still possible? Because the dude that my mom married, that was my ex, he recently passed away. He got shot like on Thanksgiving, and he died. And that was the reason why she couldn't do much because she was under his control, which I don't. But me and my mom have been talking, and I've been setting boundaries. I don't know. I can't do it with her, but I don't know if it's still possible with you guys' help.
Is your mom willing, you think? That's the
I
big
talked to her yesterday, yes. I talked to her yesterday and she was like, I don't have a working phone number, but she did give me an address that CPS already had. She said that it would have to be like probably in Amarillo because in Cactus there's really no airport or anything for me to land in. And I was like, okay.
Well, I don't know. Let me just ask, Will, have y'all had any contact with her? I mean, there wouldn't have been much reason to, so I don't know whether you've had any contact with her or not.
Mhm.
None to my awareness. We can look into this and we can certainly arrange for transportation. More than likely, we would bring you in, Freda, and transport you by ground. I know with the state we flew a lot, and that's faster in a lot of ways, but we have transporters, including 2 that are regularly officed in Houston. So we could make it happen.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll let Deborah follow up with you after court, and she's listening. So we will just look at when and making sure that this is a good deal. Just you keep being you and making great decisions.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Freda, I'm all for it. I'm absolutely. I've always been for you being able to see your siblings, but it just required your mom being willing, and maybe I'm sorry that any of you have had to go through this, and that it's very sad. I don't know what the circumstances are, but it's still very sad that someone's lost their life.
It is. Even if I think it would be best, even if it's supervised, because I mean, even if you have to, I mean, I know like what not to discuss with my mom and not to like, just because of everything. But I know that it's more for my siblings because it's been a lot of years.
Yeah, and it might make you, at least like at the first visit or for the first part of the visit, it might make you feel a little more comfortable if somebody was there with you too.
Yeah.
Let me interject for a second, Your Honor. I apologize. What if we do something like a virtual visit first and build up to a face-to-face?
We've done virtual visits for like since
Okay.
COVID. Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah. And we call on the phone all the time. Like we talk through Instagram.
Okay. All right. You just like to see.
I just want to see them. I just want to talk to them like face to face.
Sure. I understand that. see him hug their neck. I get it. I get it.
Zane is almost 7, and I looked when he was 1. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm totally in favor of this, and let's just get the wheels in motion. You know, if long as
Thank you.
all is willing, and we'll put something together, hon.
thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. That's a very small ask when you have given so much, accomplished so much. So
Thank you.
I can't tell you how proud I am of you, and I brag about you to people all the time.
Thank you so much.
I've got the neatest young lady, and she's just out there setting the world on fire. So I use you as an example for lots of our other kids that are just about to turn 18 and, you know, kind of getting ready to walk down that path. And,
They do that here too, and it's like overwhelming, but I mean, I try my best because they're all older than me, and I was like, I don't think they'll listen to someone younger than them. So
you never know. You never know.
yeah,
But you're sweet to do that, and thank you for doing that.
thank you for teaching me.
You know, it's kind of scary. I mean, you know, it's a big deal. So,
And you have to want it.
you do have to learn.
Yeah.
It's true of everything in life. All right. Anybody have anything more important to tell me than what Freda's just told me?
Miss
No,
Miss
I just-
Tracy, do you have an update of anything that needs to be talked about?
Not really. She is doing remarkable. She just really has the focus to accomplish her goal.
Oh, yeah.
Her placement has kind of been not the best situation because, of course, other teenagers who are not as committed as her are living in the same environment as her. So we're moving towards looking at helping her with HUD housing and maybe getting her own apartment to help her have her own space and be able to branch out on her own again and into independence. So she's doing great.
Okay. I think that sounds awesome because I know Freda can handle that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Some of our young adults, I'd worry about that, but I'm not worried about it at all with Freda. So
I'm the only one that goes to school here. In here, I'm the only one that goes to school and work. Everybody else is still getting their GED. And whenever I would tell them, like, I need to be a little bit quiet, they would come to the gym and I hear they'll start, like, being loud. And I'm like, I can't focus. And when I tell the ladies, they'll be like, it's their home too. And I'm like, I understand that, but I'm in school. They're not, you know, like, so obviously it doesn't matter to them, you know, but either way, I got all A's and 1 B in psychology on my finals. So it was okay. But it's still something I have to deal with regardless. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm thrilled to hear that we're working on that. So
yeah, me too. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you just keep your focus and don't let anybody else, you know, derail you.
So I just wanted to bring up, first of all, how proud I am of her. And then just logistically, she's got a few needs, and I think there are some different sources of resources out there for her. And I just want to make sure we hook her up with what she needs. Her laptop died during finals, and she was still able to pull A's.
Yeah.
People being loud outside her door at all hours, still pulled A's. So she really needs a new laptop, and she needs a good one. And then she needs a scientific calculator, and just some general like school supplies. And I think there are some different pots of money that can come from. I just want to utilize those in the best way possible to get as much bang for her bucks. I think she still has access to her PALS fund that becomes available to her once she changes placements, if I understand well correctly. He's so patient with me, trying to get me updated on how all that works. But I don't know if we have a source for getting her like the calculator and the laptop.
I know with Superior, there's I've heard of a new service that does provide laptops. I'll check on that and I can email you, Stacy.
That'd be awesome. Great.
Great.
If you don't get the scientific calculator through Superior or some program, we'll just go buy you one when you come to visit. I mean, that's it might cost $100 these days. Now we will have to try to use PAL funds, I believe, for a computer, but with you going to college, you should qualify for it.
I have one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
First, thank you for the stuff that I need. It is a lot, asking for a lot, because I mean, yeah, it's a lot of money. The visit would have to be either breaks, because I do max out my credits and I won't have time. I'll say right now, I won't have time, and I can't. I love my family, but I can't take like the days from school because I'm gonna graduate soon and I need to be in school.
Yeah.
And it's one day, it's like missing a week in college. Like,
yeah, Freda, you got to do it on a break. There's no question. I mean, you've got a full-time job with school, and that needs to be your full-time job, you know. So we'll work around that. When are you, like, how long do you have over Christmas?
Just now we got on break and we go back to school January 16th.
January 16th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Golly, I think we could make this happen in that time frame.
For Christmas?
Yeah, sometime over your Christmas break.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know whether it'll be before or after, but I mean, that gives us a month to get this handled.
Thank you.
Deborah's sitting here nodding her head up and down. So, okay. So they'll be in touch with you about that, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, and then if that goes well, and if she's got time at spring break where we could do another one, then, you know, let's look at doing that too.
I don't want to live back at home though.
No, I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. You've flown the coop, girl.
Yeah. Some people, they do like visits until reunifications, but I don't really want to live back in Amarillo.
No, I understand. Yeah. No, I wasn't confused about that.
Thank
okay.
you so much.
You bet. So anybody have anything else?
That was it for me.
I don't believe so, yeah.
Okay, Freda, you're just the most awesome young lady. I just can't tell you how proud I am of you. And, you know, you just keep your head up and keep doing it.
Thank you.
Okay, and Ms. Zavala, kind of keep me posted about, as we know about her need for a laptop, because I'd sure like to see that happen before she starts her next semester. And
please,
you know, if we're hitting a brick wall somewhere, please let me know that. Okay,
I will.
Okay. All right, then, Freda, you have a great rest of your day and week, and I hope you have a very, very, very good holiday season. And I hope the visit goes well. And I'll see you back not until next June, unless we need to get together. And if we do, all you need to do is let Deborah know, let Stacy know. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, you take care.
You too.
All right, then I'll continue the department as permanent managing conservator. Well, excuse me, I'm sorry. We're young adult now. We'll just continue jurisdiction at Freda's request. And we will have another review hearing on June 6th.
Sorry, Your Honor.
I know, I was just gonna say, Ms. Vincent, my father misspelled my first name on my birth certificate, so.
I bet that was fun to fix, wasn't it?
Well, I never did fix it. It was supposed to be IE, and he spelled it with a Y, so I just tell everybody it's spelled like the verb, carry out the trash, carry out Chinese food. So, no, I never had the heart to change it.
Yeah,
so,
you know.
Okay.
I asked Mr. Jupiter to be here today just to try to clear up some confusion about how guardianship will work going forward. And a lot of the confusion is probably on my part. So hopefully we can get that kind of straightened out.
We're here on a review hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming, and Ms. Goodman's making our record. All right, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Alicia Walker is my pregnancy specialist, and we are present ready on.
Stacy Zavala for Mary Jane, here and ready.
Okay, what do we have new then?
Really the only thing new is the guardianship situation. We have already filed
for guardianship through HHSC, but Miss Jupiter wants to be Mary's guardian, so she will have to hire an attorney and file for guardianship herself. And once she does that, then we'll stop the process through HHSC. But if she doesn't do that, then we'll have to continue with guardianship through HHSC. So we're just waiting to figure that all out.
And that's where I need the help at. I've been searching and trying to get some assistance in doing this. But unfortunately, when I called several places to get some help, they told me my income was too large. Well, the income that we have, we live off of it. You know, it's all tied up in our living expenses. So I really can't afford an attorney. But I really, really would love to have custody of her. I know her. She lives with me. I feel like I'm not just a foster mother. I feel like I'm her mother. And I would like to have guardianship of her. Oh, they call it conservative. I'm not certain exactly which is the difference.
Well,
but,
it would be after she turns 18, it would be guardianship.
Okay.
The department would maintain custody, conservatorship until the child turns 18. And then, you know, then it has to switch because at age 18, then she would be deemed an adult. So then it would have to switch over to guardianship. I don't know. What area do you live in, Ms. Jupiter?
I live in Katy.
Okay. And have you checked with various legal aid?
Yeah, legal aid told me that I had too much income. And like I say, the income that I have, we live off of it.
Yeah, I understand.
It's not like we're able to, you know, provide an attorney or save any money.
Yeah. And I can't appoint an attorney to represent you in that because you aren't a biological parent of the child. So I can't appoint an attorney to do it. Anybody got any ideas where we go from here?
Does the guardianship have to be filed in Katy, or can't it be filed in, has she tried Amarillo attorneys?
I haven't, because I don't know anything about Amarillo.
Well, and I don't know whether it would be moving forward. I would think it would be much easier for her to maintain that guardianship if it's filed where she resides, because there are some things that have to be filed on an annual basis.
True.
Some reports that have, so it would be much simpler, I think, for her moving forward.
She might want to call just a regular attorney to see what they would even charge for a guardianship. May not be.
Ms. Smith has posted in the chat a link that Ms. Juniper, do you know how to look at the chat feature?
I can try. I'm not very good at this matter in technology, but let me see if I can try. Where do I go to get that?
There's a little down kind of along where the functions are. If you see something that says chat, or it's like it's a little.
If she's not able to get it, I can email it to her.
Okay, that might be easier, Ms. Walker. If you'll just send her that link, that might be something else to try.
Okay.
And I think whoever you speak with, Ms. Jupiter, it would be important to make sure they understand this is a child that's, that she's a foster child. She's come to your home through the department. The problem is they're going to say, well, I don't understand why the department isn't doing that. And of course, the department is pursuing it and could continue to pursue it, but then you wouldn't be named the guardian. Or we maybe have lost her.
Oh, no. It seems sort of equivalent to me of an adoption, and I sure wish there was some sort of subsidy or some help for her to be able to finalize that, because it seems like that would be better both for the state to have her be the actual guardian. But clearly I don't think those resources are out there. I believe we would have heard about them. But I'd love for, and I think the plan is even if the guardianship is through HHSC, that the placement would still be with Miss Jupiter. And that's absolutely where we want her to stay. I mean, she's doing great there. They are bonded. But if there is any way to do it in Miss Jupiter's name, that sure seems better. I'm a little worried because I don't know what happens at 18 and we're at a month away. So I'm just worried that I don't know enough and know what the next step is gonna be.
Well, I think we're so close to the child's 18th birthday that we're going to have to let the department follow through right now and at least be named guardian initially. Now, that doesn't mean that it couldn't be converted down the line, but here's my next question. If Miss Jupiter is then ultimately named guardian, what does that do to her HCS slot?
She will keep the HCS slot. She can keep all the services that she's getting in the HCS slot. She'll continue to have. It just has Miss Jupiter is the one that will make all the decisions as opposed to the department.
Okay, that was my question: was did we jeopardize the HCS slot? So
she's in is she in an HCS slot with Miss Jupiter?
Yes,
okay.
I think so.
Yeah, that won't change.
And Miss Jupiter, it looked like you were trying to say something, but you were on mute.
Yeah, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. She lives with me and we love her. I want to be able to do as much for her as possible. I'm the one that makes decisions for her right now. And I'd like to continue on doing that. I've spoken to her about it and explained things to her. And she said, well, Mama, you take care of me. You do everything for me. And I said, well, that's the whole point. So this is why I'm trying to get guardianship so that I can make all decisions for you. So she agreed, She might can't read and write and count, but she has a pretty good understanding about things when you explain it to her, So
it's just a question, Miss Jupiter, I think, of you being able to find somebody to do this for you.
Yes, ma'am. That's the thing. If I can get someone to do it for me, I didn't know I had to go through the courts. You see, I thought guardianship was something that you could do through a paralegal or notary or something.
No, it has to be done typically through a county judge, and then I mean, not only once you have to file and have a hearing and do all that, but then on an annual basis, you have to file some reports and things. So there's a little more to it than just a one and done kind of thing.
Yes, ma'am. So I need some assistance in this because I don't have the funds right now to hire a lawyer. And like I said, places that I've went pro bono and all those places, you keep telling me that my income is too much.
And I mean, like I said, I can't appoint an attorney to you because you're not a biological parent. So I have no ability to do that. And I don't know that the department can fund it. I don't think so. So I don't know where it leaves us. I mean, all I can suggest to you is you keep trying.
Yes, ma'am.
Various attorneys, go to that website that Ms. Smith posted and you might be able to find an attorney that will do it, what we call pro bono.
Yes, ma'am.
And so until then, I think the department has got to maintain its course, because we're so close to her 18th birthday. But like I said, it doesn't mean that
Yes.
that can't be converted or changed over down the line, because you
So
clearly have a change in guardian.
So you could change guardian. You could do that.
Yes. Be done at a later date.
Okay. I'm going to still continue on working at it and see if I can get some help with it because I really sincerely want this for her. I want the best, and I believe that would be the best decision for her because she, like I say, I know her. I live with her. She lives with me and they don't know anything about her to make decisions for her. You see,
I understand.
I'm a real mother, not just a foster mother.
No, I understand. I understand that. And I hope that we can get it accomplished. It's just, I don't have any way of doing it.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think you'll have to find an attorney on your own and just you know, you're just gonna have to probably keep making phone calls and keep talking to people.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. All right, everything else going okay for her?
Yes, ma'am. Everything's going good. Very, very good. She's a real sweet kid. She gives me no problem. You know, she has a little behavior issues that she had, but they work with her on that. And once the behavior issues are corrected, she's really good. I just want her to be happy. I want her to be able to take some of the pain and things that she's gone through already. I want to be able to try my best to remove some of those feelings and thoughts that she's going through, you know?
Sure. Well, we have no doubt she's in a very good place, and she's, you know, you're doing a great job with her. So
thank you very much.
We're going to keep all of that the same. We're going to keep the department right now as permanent managing, and we'll keep placement, and then the department will need to just move forward with or going through HHSC, and then, you know, if you find somebody to do this guardianship, then they can, you know, they can take it from there and get it converted over.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you so much.
We'll have our next hearing on March 7th of 2024, and that's a 9 o'clock docket.
Okay.
We'll kind of see where we're at that point in time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
You have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, you too.